Why on earth would a massive billion-dollar entertainment empire deliberately choose to steal its very own idols' faces? The group Stray Kids currently sit at the absolute pinnacle of global pop. In 2025, they became the first musical act in history to debut 8 consecutive albums at #1 on the Billboard 200. Heading into the summer of 2026, they were preparing to release their highly anticipated This and That EP and launch the Run It World Tour, a massive stadium circuit designed as a traditional victory lap. But instead of delivering the expected, highly polished pop aesthetic, their agency released a cinematic trailer that abandoned the standard K-pop formula entirely. Right at the peak of their conventional success, the group released a piece of media designed to be visceral and unsettling. The promo begins simply enough. A protagonist enters a mysterious truck, puts on a pair of headphones, and hits play on a record. As the music kicks in, the world warps. Every single person in the room, from the barista pouring coffee to the customers chatting in the background, wears the exact same face. The dialogue is just as eerie. Characters communicate exclusively using 2 words, this and that. This follows a pre-trailer released days earlier, where first-person camcorder footage showed comedian Yoo Byung-jae chillingly morphing into band member Singmin. This campaign is a tightly wound psychological thriller masquerading as an album rollout. By plunging the audience straight into the uncanny valley, the campaign hijacked the internet's attention, forcing millions of fans into a state of intense speculation. The fandom immediately mobilized, tearing through every frame of the video to decode how these visual anomalies were achieved. A fierce consensus quickly formed online. Fans argued the morphing faces were the result of high-quality practical effects and traditional CGI mapping, firmly denying any involvement of artificial intelligence. They believed the group was making a moral statement, a sharp critique of corporate overreach and the growing reliance on fabricated technology in art. To protect the group's artistic integrity, the audience framed the terrifying trailer as a high-minded conceptual protest rather than a technological shortcut. That protective narrative collapsed overnight thanks to a single leak on Reddit. A credited visual effects artist posted a story to Instagram explicitly labeling their work as AI face swap and deepfake work. The agency, JYP Entertainment, had actively fed thousands of hours of their own idols' faces into an artificial intelligence algorithm to generate the marketing material. They bypassed traditional visual effects entirely, specifically paying AI artists to execute the deepfakes. The fans whose anti-AI defenses were suddenly invalidated by the creators themselves experienced immediate whiplash. In their rush to prove the authenticity of their favorite artists, the audience spent days aggressively defending a literal, corporate-funded deepfake. The motive lies in the music itself. The group's production unit, 3RACHA, structured the This and That EP by violently colliding heavy EDM, aggressive rap, pop, and rock into single tracks. The sonic chaos of the album mirrors the visual chaos of the trailer. Both are active rejections of traditional industry boundaries. The AI face swapping is a deliberate visual metaphor for a group that refuses to be boxed into a single genre. They do this and that. The label successfully anchored a controversial technology to the group's core brand of absolute disruption and artistic freedom. Now, the rest of the billion-dollar K-pop industry is watching this experiment closely. It exposes a modern ethical dilemma, treating a human pop star's likeness as raw data for an algorithm. When an agency can infinitely duplicate a star's face without them ever stepping foot on set, the legal boundaries of image rights become incredibly blurry. As the release date approaches, the global conversation has shifted from the music itself to the ethics of its marketing. Stray Kids has crossed the uncanny valley, forcing the entire industry to decide who truly owns a superstar's face in the AI era.